Greetings, YouTubers, and welcome to my 69th TTM video. TTM stands for Through the Mail, where we will send out whatever, baseball cards, football cards, any type of sports cards, photos, baseballs, what have you, and send them to athletes, and hopefully they come back signed. Today, I will share 3 TTMs that I received in the mail recently. I'm going to give shout-outs to a bunch of great channels. I'll show you a pickup I had, a RAK. I'm interested to see what it is because I haven't opened it. From a great channel, great guy. And I'll also announce the winner of the box, 1988 Topps box there. Card, so we'll see who gets that. And I will give you a few stories as well with these players, as I always try to do. Now, hope everybody had a good weekend, safe weekend. I was at the big Raz that Stix G had on his channel Saturday. It was fabulous. I called it the All-Star Game of the card community because everybody there was an all-star. It was just incredible. It was like a midsummer classic, except we're now in spring, but that's fine. It was still an all-star game no matter what. Great people were there, had a great time, super fun. Nope, and I'm sure everyone else did as well, because I never saw the response part move that fast. It was just flying. You couldn't even read it, really. That's how good it was. Okay, now we're going to do a couple shout-outs for everybody. First channel I will shout out to is a channel I just got with, Dead Centered. And I recently saw his last video. It was for the tabletop of cards for VR contest. I think it's for G's Mikey. And got to see his collection. Super collection there. Give him a look-see. Great job. Look forward to his other videos. They're coming out. We got Basement Card Collector, another channel I just started watching. And he does TTMs as well. Give him a look-see. And also, Leaf Fan Down Under. He's a Toronto Maple Leaf fan, yes. Down Under, yes. He's in Australia. And he has great fun opening packs. Mostly hockey, but it is fun. Mrs. Leaf helps out a lot. She's fun as well, so give them a look-see. They're a really good channel also. So you'll have superb fun with those 3 channels. And now, 4th shout-out is for Ripping Vintage. Scott at Ripping Vintage. Hasn't done a lot of videos lately, but he is a great member of the card community. And he also sent me a RAK in this box. This bag, I should say. Here it is. Cover up the old address. So he said, don't open it until you're on camera, so that's what I'm going to do. Here. Get it open. Ooh. There we go. Squeeze it on out there. All right. Ooh, what is this? Scotty. I've waited for a while. I apologize, Scott. We got 1, 2 sections of cards and a mystery. Mystery. Ooh, wrapped up. I gotta see this. Let me get this out. Alright, there's a letter. Dear Ed, please open this on camera. This is a very special gift for you. You said it would take you a while to get this. I told myself that simply will not do. Made a trade at my LCS. I hope you enjoy this card. May it help complete your collection. That's Scott. Wow. Let's see what it is. It's got it great wrapped up here. Open it up there. 1970s, it looks like. Oh, it is. Oh, Scott. Man, are you kidding me? Wow. I mean, gotta say wow 3 or 4 times. My hand is shaking here. 1970 Thurman Munson rookie card. Get out of town! Whoa, I am humbled. I am overjoyed. I am, wow. Wow, Scott, man. That's beyond. Sorry, the phone rang. Wow, Scott, man. Well, I thank you so much, my friend. You are truly one of the great ones of this community, and wow, that's yeah, that's a beautiful looking card. One of my all-time favorites, and just amazing, amazing. Wow. I mean, woo. I am at a loss for words there. Put that in a nice spot. check out these other things. I mean, that alone is a big wow. Now, this video may take a little longer, but I ain't apologizing because this is a great gift. What do we get here? We got another one of my all-time favorites, Dave Winfield. Look at that. Nice Padre, old Padre uniform. Got him with the Angels. Beautiful. Upper deck there. Look at that. With the Minnesota Twins. Hustling around the base. And got him with another Angel card. Super cards. Wow. Scott's making sure I got every Winfield card possible. Man. And what else we got here? We got another one. The last one. Beautiful. Okay, we got a 1981 Donruss. So, you know, that's the year he got with the Yankees. Superstars of Baseball. I like that. Topps KB Toys. I don't have that either. Little mini. Gotta like the minis. And we got a 90 Fleer. Big smile on his face. And then we got the All-Star card from 84. Superb, superior, stupendous. Wow. Scott, my man, you are unbelievable. That was way beyond generous. And as you can see, I didn't open it before today, so thank you very much, my friend. Check out Ripping Vintage. There's a video in itself right there. I appreciate that. My goodness. Can't top it now with these things, but I will try. Okay. The first thing I'll show is a pickup I made of a All-American card. Back in the 50s, they made these cards. They're kind of hard to get. It's a very interesting set. I like the way it looked. This gentleman is at the University of Colorado. They got a little buffalo on top right there. I like that. And this is Mr. Whizzer White, halfback. The University of Colorado Buffaloes. Who is Whizzer White? He didn't like that name at all. I can tell you that. When I lived down in Washington, D.C. and worked down there, you did not call him Whizzer. That was something he did not want to hear. But who is he? You might not know who he is, but you're going to find out. Byron Raymond White was born on June 8th, 1917 in Fort Collins, Colorado, way out west. He graduated at the top of his high school class, number 1. And there were only 6 people in his class. So a very small class, but he was at the top. Better than graduating 6th. He attended the University of Colorado, which is in Boulder, on a scholarship. And that was always offered to all Colorado high school students who were valedictorians back then. I don't know if they still do that. He played football. He also played basketball and dabbled in a little baseball at Colorado as well. As a senior, he helped to lead Colorado, which was 1917, to an 8-0 regular season record. They lost to Rice, 28-14 in the Cotton Bowl Classic on New Year's Day. He was runner-up for the Heisman Trophy to Yale's Clint Frank. And as I said, White also played a little basketball and baseball at CU. The basketball team he was on advanced to the finals of the inaugural National Invitation Tournament, the NIT, which was the big tournament back then. He graduated with a BA in economics. And while he was at Colorado, he earned a nickname from a newspaper columnist, the nickname Whizzer, which he did not like. He followed him forever. He was an All-American as well at Colorado. Well, he was drafted in 1938 by the National Football League. The 4th overall pick went to the Pittsburgh Pirates. No, not the baseball team, but the Pirates football team. They eventually became the Steelers. And that was common back then for a football team to take the name of the baseball team because they played in baseball stadiums. Like the Bears, well, they weren't going to take the Cubs because George Halas felt the Cub was a small bear, so he wanted a big one, Bears. But there was a football team called the Yankees. There was one called the Brooklyn Dodgers. And you know about the New York Giants and such, so he was picked, but a couple days later, Oxford said, you have a scholarship to come here over in England. But Oxford allowed him to delay his start until 1939 so he could play football. And while he played football, he was the highest paid player in the NFL. And how much was the highest paid back then? $15,000. Doesn't sound like much today, but back then it was big cash. Remember, America was just climbing out of a depression. So he played one season with the Steelers. And then he left for Europe in 1939. He left to go to Europe to study at Oxford. And while he was at Oxford, he met two young men. And these two young men were the sons of the U.S. ambassador to England. And their names were Joe and John. And their last name was Kennedy. Yep, that one. Guy went on to become president. So he became friendly with them. When Europe got into war in 1939, he left to come back to the States. He was supposed to enroll, at Harvard University Law School. But as he was riding on the train, he got sick. And he decided to get off in New Haven, Connecticut, which just happens to be where Yale University is. So he decided to enroll in Yale Law School. So that's how that all came about. He took a leave of absence from Yale Law School to do what? Play football with the Detroit Lions, which he did. Got $15,000 a year. He used that money to pay for his law school education. That worked out pretty well. He was in law school with a guy by the name of Gerald Ford, I believe, another former football player who went on to government service. When World War II broke out, he wanted to join the United States Marine Corps, but he couldn't because he was colorblind. So he joined the Navy and served in the Naval Intelligence during the Second World War. After the war was over, he graduated from Yale Law School, #1 in his class, and then would serve in private practice in Colorado. But when the 1960 presidential campaign came about, he worked for a guy by the name of John Kennedy, who was running and ran Colorado's President for Kennedy operations. After John Kennedy won, he was made #2 at the Department of Justice under Robert F. Kennedy. And in 1962, when a vacancy on the Supreme Court opened up, he was appointed by President Kennedy to serve on the Supreme Court, which he did from 1962 until 1993. And he passed away on April 15th, 2002 in Denver at the age of 84. And I was lucky enough to get his autograph when he was on the Supreme Court. Sent a nice photo back. Wasn't as what Kennedy thought. Like a lot of Supreme Court justices, they usually go a different way. And he went a different way on a lot of occasions than what I guess a lot of the Democratic Party wanted. But that happens. Earl Warren went the other way with the Republicans. So, so be it. I'm not here to talk that. Played in the NFL in 1938, as I said, with the Pirates, became the Steelers, and then from 1940 to 41, played with the Detroit Lions. His total NFL career had 1,321 rushing yards, and that was about 3.4 yards a carry with 11 touchdowns. He's a member of the College Football Hall of Fame. He was a two-time first-team All-Pro in the NFL, two-time NFL rushing leader in 1938 and 1940, led the league in rushing, and is a member of the NFL 1940s All-Decade team. He was an All-American in 1937, and his number 24 is retired by the University of Colorado. So that's the reason I got that card. I knew who he was and picked it up. Now let's get down to the TTMs. First one is coming from New Jersey, not that far from where I live. Took 14 days. There was no fee. This gentleman was kind enough to sign not one, not two, but 3 cards, and that's usually my limit is 3. That's Mr. Mike Rozier of the University of Nebraska. Sign that one. Got this, almost like the 55 card, a little reprint action there. And got him on the Pro set. Mikey Rozier, who is he? What is he? What did he do? All right. Michael Rozier, born on March 1st, 1961, get tongue-tied, born in Camden, New Jersey, from the Garden State. While he was playing football, especially in high school, he was not recruited or noticed by a lot of the big-name schools. But former Nebraska head coach Frank Solich, who was an assistant to then head coach Tom Osborne, helped him out. Studied a lot of high school football films. I always like to watch them. He noticed the Pennsauken, New Jersey high school game against Rozier's Woodrow Wilson High School, and he noticed Rozier was a great player, caught his eye, and he's the one who got Tom Osborne to recruit him. But his freshman year, Mike Rozier had to spend in Kansas at Coffeyville Junior College. That was to help get his grades up, which he did. But the year he played at Coffeyville, the team was 9-0. He rushed for 1,157 yards, and that's about 7.4 yards a carry with 10 touchdowns. He got to Nebraska. He was in the backfield with another guy by the name of Roger Craig. Yeah, that Roger Craig who should be in the Hall of Fame. And during his junior year at Nebraska, Mike Rozier broke the single-season rushing record at the school. During his senior season, Nebraska was almost unstoppable. They averaged about 52 points a game, about 401 rushing yards per game. Mike Rozier had a total of 2,486 total yards, with 2,148 of them coming on the ground, running the ball. He had 29 touchdowns, about 7.8 yards per carry. Against Kansas, he rushed for 230 yards in the first half. Wound up finishing with 285 yards. I guess they, put the brakes on, which, you should. You don't have to run it up. The 1984 Orange Bowl game, that was a big year. It was like 11, something like that. Miami played Nebraska for the national championship, and Miami won 31-30. And Tom Osborne decided to go for the win instead of the tie, so he went for 2 instead of 1. Mike Rozier in that game, all he did was rush for 138 yards in the first half. And that was against Miami, who had the second best defense in all of college football. But he had to leave in the third quarter with an ankle injury. So if he'd been healthy, who knows? In the 1984 USFL draft, he was the first pick in the first round by the Pittsburgh Maulers. Remember them? Yeah, I remember them vaguely. And also in the 1984 NFL supplemental draft, he was the second pick in the first round by the Houston Oilers. He went with Pittsburgh because they probably offered him more money. Spent 2 years in the United States Football League. In 1984, he played with the Pittsburgh Maulers, and then they folded. And in 1985, went to the Jacksonville Bulls down here in Florida. Well, after the USFL folded, he went to the went to the NFL. He played with the Houston Oilers and then the Atlanta Falcons. In his time, he was a 2-time Pro Bowler, 1987 and 88 in the NFL. He won the Heisman Trophy in 1983, won the Maxwell Award and the Walter Camp Award in college in 83, 2-time All-American in 1982 and 83, and his number 30 has been retired by the University of Nebraska. While in college, he had 5,120 yards rushing, about 7.3 yards, 0.03 yards a carry. Pretty good. 49 touchdowns. He had 20 catches for 216 yards and 2 touchdowns. In the USFL, he had 2,153 yards on 4 yards a carry, 15 TDs. In the NFL, he had 4,462 yards with 3.8 yards on the ground and 30 touchdowns. And in October 2018, he and his family appeared on Family Feud. All right. Survey says, great signer. I thank you, Mr. Rozier. So, great signer there. If you haven't gotten him, you should get him. He's really good. And the next one came from Arizona. 21 days, no fee. This is the second time I sent to him. First time was, about 2 years ago. One of the first ones I ever got back returned. He moved. So I sent it out again, and he came through. Mr. Alvin Adams. Got him there. And got him there. 2 nice signatures. He did sign 76 Rookie of the Year on both, which I asked him to do on one, but he did both. So thank you. Mr. Alvin Lee Adams, born on July 19th, 1954 in Lawrence, Kansas. He's 67, but he grew up in Oklahoma, went to high school in Oklahoma City, attended the University of Oklahoma from 1972 to 75, and he was really good at Oklahoma. During 28 games of the 1973-74 season, Adams tied an Oklahoma record with 21 double-doubles for a season with Garfield Hurd. And it was broken in 2009 by a man by the name of Blake Griffin. Yeah, pretty good player too. He's only one of 3 Oklahoma University players to score at least 40 points and 20 rebounds in a game, along with Wayman Tisdale, Blake Griffin. So, good company there too. And he's only one of 4 Sooners to have his jersey retired. Him, along with Wayman Tisdale, Mookie Blaylock, and Stacey King are the guys at Oklahoma. I imagine Blake Griffin maybe one day. In the 1975 NBA draft, he was picked in the first round with the 4th pick by the Phoenix Suns. First pick that year was David Thompson. So he went 3 players later. Thompson, Hall of Famer. He was picked by the Atlanta Hawks, David Thompson, but played in the ABA with the Nuggets. His whole career, he played in Phoenix, from 1975 to 88, so you got to be good to play that long, especially with one team. His rookie season was pretty good, because the Suns went to the NBA Finals, but they wound up losing to the Boston Celtics in 6 games. He was named Rookie of the Year that year. The next year, in 1977, on February 20th, Adams recorded a triple-double with 47 points, 18 rebounds, and 12 assists against the Buffalo Braves. You know them better as the Clippers now, and they moved to San Diego and then to LA. He's only one of 5 NBA players to have as many as 46 points and 16 rebounds in a triple-double. Who are the others? Well, Vince Carter, Russell Westbrook, and 2 other guys you may have heard of, Elgin Baylor and Wilt Chamberlain. Again, great company to be in if you're Alvin Adams. Adams is the Suns' leader in games played, minutes played, rebounds, and steals. His number 33 was retired by the Suns, but when the Suns signed Grant Hill, Adams gave his permission to allow Grant Hill to wear his number. His career, he scored 13,910 points, which came out to about 14 a game, 6,937 rebounds, which is about 7 a game, and 4,012 assists, which is about 4. He was an All-Star once, in 1976, his rookie year. As I said, he won Rookie of the Year award, and he was the Big 8 Player of the Year in 1975. So, Alvin Adams, thank you very much for the 2 signatures. Much appreciated. And this third and final one came all the way from Pennsylvania. I did put $10 in. This guy's a great signer. And don't mind putting 10. I would have put in more. And that is Mr. Dick Grote on this baseball here. He was nice enough to inscribe 1960 World Series champs, which I've been trying to get a lot of the 60 World Series team from Pittsburgh. Now, who is he? Great athlete is what he is, besides being a great TTMer. Richard Morrow Grant, known as Dick, born on November 4th, 1930, in Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania. That's up in Allegheny County. He's 91 years of age, still a young man and still signing. He attended Duke University. Yes, Duke, Durham. He played basketball there before it was this big school as it is today with Coach K. While he was there, he was a 2-time All-American in basketball. He went from 1949 to 52 at Duke. He was the UPI Player of the Year in 1952, after he set a then NCAA record with 839 points in a season. In the 1951-52 season, he scored 48 points against the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, which was the most ever scored against UNC at that time. In the 1952 NBA draft, he was picked in the first round with the 3rd pick by the Fort Wayne Pistons. They're not in Fort Wayne anymore. They moved north, kind of north, I guess, east to Detroit. The first pick was Mark Wertman, who went number 1 to the Milwaukee Hawks. He was out of the University of West Virginia. So they don't play in Milwaukee anymore. They went to St. Louis and eventually ended up in Atlanta. He only played 1 season in the NBA in 1952 and 53, and that was 26 games. But back in his college days, just days after graduating from Duke, Pittsburgh general manager Branch Rickey, yes, that Branch Rickey, signed him to a contract. The New York Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals are both interested in him, but they didn't get him. And he always wanted to play for the Pirates. That was his team. On June 19th, 1952, he played his first game in Major League Baseball, having never played in the minor leagues. His rookie year, he hit .284, then played basketball for a season, and then went into the U.S. Army. He served his 2 years. Back then, there was a draft, and everybody served. He got drafted, at least. In the Major League Baseball, he played with Pittsburgh, and that was in 1952, and eventually came back. I believe it was 55 to 62 he played. Played with the St. Louis Cardinals, the Philadelphia Phillies, and finished with the San Francisco Giants. In 1956, he set the all-time record for most at-bats in a season, 520, without ever hitting a home run or stealing a base. He hit .315, which was 5th in the National League. In 1957, he had a career-high 7 homers. And it was on September 29th, 1957, against the New York Giants. He threw out the final batter to end the Giants' last home game ever at the Polo Grounds in New York City. After the 59 season, here's something I did not know, he was nearly traded to the Kansas City A's for a guy by the name of, drumroll, Roger Maris. Yeah, Roger Maris was almost a Pirate. But the deal was canceled by Pittsburgh manager Danny Murtaugh. Didn't want Pat Maris on the Pirates. He wanted to keep Grote. It worked out well for both clubs, really. Murtaugh should be in the Hall of Fame, as a side note. 1960 was his best year. He was named captain of the Pirates. He was the first Pirate to be named National League MVP since Paul Wainer in 1927, and was the first Pirates right-handed batter to win the batting title since 1911. And that guy was, I don't know whatever really happened to him after 1911, was a guy by the name of Honus Wagner. So hopefully he had a good career. In 1962, though, he was traded to the St. Louis Cardinals for pitcher Don Cardwell. And Dick Grote was hurt by that trade. And he really didn't forgive the Pirates for a long time. He was hoping to become a coach and eventually manager of the Pirates after he retired. But he cut off all contact with the Pirates until about 1990, when there was a reunion of the 1960 championship team. He hit, in 1963, he hit .319, which was fourth in the league, hit 201 hits, led the National League in doubles, was third in triples, and he was runner-up for the MVP voting to some pitcher, a pitcher, by the name of Sandy Koufax. Where are these guys coming from? Sandy Koufax. Hope he had a good career as well. In his career, he was an 8-time All-Star, was a 2-time World Series champ, in 1960 with the Pirates and in 64 with the Cardinals, was MVP in 1960, as I said, and won his only batting title in 1960. For his career, he had hit .286, had 2,138 hits, 39 homers, and 707 RBIs. And he's one of only 13 athletes ever to play in both the NBA and Major League Baseball. Danny Ainge did it. There was an old actor by the name of Chuck Connors. I believe he was on a show called The Rifleman. He did both as well. His NBA career, he had 309 points, which is about almost 12 a game, 11.9. 69 assists, 2.7 a game, and 86 rebounds, 3.3 a game. He's a member of the College Basketball Hall of Fame, the National College Baseball Hall of Fame, first player ever inducted into both, and he was a University of Pittsburgh Panthers play-by-play man from 1969 to 2019. On May 1st, 1952, remember 1952, he just was finishing up his career there. College basketball was over. His number 10 was retired by Duke University and was the first jersey ever to be retired by the university until about 1980. So, there you go, Dick Grote. Ride him. He's a little bit up there in age, but well worth it. All right, let's get down to the final thing. This video is running long, but I haven't been around in a while. So, who's going to get the 1988 box of cards? We shall see. Here's the box. My assistant today is from one of my favorite TV shows of all time when I was a kid in the 80s. This was one of the shows I love. This guy, along with his 2 other friends, were sent to prison 50 years ago, 1972, by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. That's Mr. John Hannibal Smith. Thank you, Hannibal. He's going to watch over us. I've got my trusty box here. Nothing in there. Who's in the running for this? We've got Mr. Mets Rule. Great channel up there, Connecticut. Have you seen my baseball? I haven't seen anything from him in a while on YouTube. Got one of the legends of YouTube, Blue Rock TV. And then, down in Florida, we got Junior, Baseball Fanatic 12, Mr. Liam. And we've got Patrick's Baseball Cards and TTMs. Haven't seen anything from Patrick in a while. We got another legend, Collectaholic. A man from Europe, Freedom Sufferer Cards. Got a couple Canadian legends here, JK Johnny. Shout out to Marky Mark. And we got Shaw Racing Collects. They just had a 1-year anniversary show as well this past week. It was great. Another all-star game there. All right, so I shall shake it up. Shaking it up. I put my hand in. And the winner is... Dude, a man in Florida. Young man, Junior Baseball Fanatic 12. Mr. Liam. Congratulations, Liam. You are the winner of the cards. Hannibal says so. All right, I want to thank everybody for sticking around. 30 minutes. Sorry it took this long, but there was just a lot to say. A great RAK from a great guy, Scott. Ripping Vintage. Man, you had me. That was beautiful. I don't know if I could top that with anything to you, but see if I can come up with something. I hope Xander's doing well, your son. Hope everybody out there is doing well and having a good time. Now that spring's here, baseball is back. I'm glad baseball's back, but I couldn't root for either side. You got owners who are billionaires, make a ton of money hand over fist. I don't care how bad their team is. And you got players who make tens of millions of dollars a year. Why should I care about either side? I care about the guys who used to play who didn't make that, sure. You know, you got Max Scherzer out there who's making, $40 million a year? If you add up what Hank Aaron, Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth, Joe DiMaggio, Frank Robinson, Willie Mays, Lou Gehrig, Ernie Banks, add up what they all made in their career. Does it even come out to what he made one season this year? No. So, great pitcher. I'm not going to say he doesn't deserve it, but kind of hard to root for either side, but I just root for the fans because we're the ones who take it the hardest when they don't play, and we're the ones who, without us, we're the product, really. Without us, they don't have anything. They're going to be playing empty stadiums. But there's my little rant. Sorry. So again, everybody be safe, be kind to each other, one person at a time, and, enjoy life. Thank you all. I want to say good night to the U.S. Virgin Islands. I know you're watching down there. Love you all.